The United States has taken unprecedented steps against a NATO ally, imposing sanctions on Turkey's top two law enforcement ministers in its ongoing dispute over the detention of an American pastor. Andrew Brunson was arrested in 2016 for allegedly aiding the Fethullah Gulen terrorist organisation. Lionel Donovan has more.
At the President's direction, the Department of Treasury is sanctioning Turkey's Minister of Justice and Minister of Interior.
Sanctions against an ally. It was an unprecedented move by one NATO ally against another in what has become an escalating crisis between the United States and Turkey. And any hopes that the crisis could be stemmed ended on Wednesday when U.S. President Donald Trump imposed sanctions against two of Turkey's top ministers for the ongoing detention of American pastor Andrew Brunson. Brunson is being held in Turkey, where he is accused of working with Fethullah Gulen, the man who's heading the FETÖ terror group and the prime suspect of the 2016 failed coup. Gulen has been living in self-imposed exile in Pennsylvania since 1998. And his movement reportedly has established a vast network of charter schools across the country. The dispute over Brunson is the latest in the escalating crisis between the two countries over FETÖ, which Ankara says Washington has failed to identify as a terrorist organization.
I want them to know that we don't fear their threats, and they know it very well. We have discussed the issue during our meetings, and our foreign minister made our stance clear to them.
Turkey says FETÖ's top leadership is now based in the United States, and it says that leadership is managing the group's financial activities from the U.S., and the U.S. government is turning a blind eye. In addition to Fethullah Gulen, the leader of FETÖ, Ankara has requested the extradition of 60 suspected members. The Justice Ministry says they are wanted on terrorism charges, including promoting a terrorist organization and having links to the failed coup in 2016. Additionally, the ministry says the 60 are wanted for financing FETÖ from the United States. The U.S. says there is a process for extradition requests that must be followed. But Turkey says the U.S. government is using that excuse to shelter FETÖ suspects in the country.
And as the crisis continues to escalate, there are worries that the standoff may irrevocably break what has been one of the most important alliances for both the United States and Turkey. Lionel Donovan, TRT World, Washington.
Well, for more on this, Ergun Kirlikovali, a member of the board of Turkish Philanthropy funds, joins us live now from Irvine in California. Thank you so much for your time. Firstly, yet another development that will strain Turkey-America relations. What impact will these sanctions have on that already fragile relationship?
Well, I'm very sorry to witness the events come to this. Can you imagine the United States imposing sanctions on a NATO ally? What could be worse? That is a sad day for both countries. And I need to say that it sounds like being involved in the legal procedures of a foreign country, and it is not becoming of U.S. traditions. What we're seeing today is a person who's involved in some activities in some foreign country and been detained on charges. Now, the rest is up to the legal system of that country. But for the President Trump to come in with his tweets and say, release him or else, is just not American. This is how we see it here. And I think it can have lasting damage on Turkey-U.S. relations unless the White House and the Congress make a turnabout and probably try to mend the fences.
And you've been actively involved in the Turkey-US relationship for years now. Can you just give us an idea of the current state of that relationship as someone of the Turkish background living in the United States? How is that relationship felt there?
Yes, absolutely. I was born and raised in Turkey. I did my university education in Turkey and came to the United States 40 years ago. And I know both sides of the waters real well. I never cut my relationships with either country. So I'm very well involved on both sides of the Atlantic. So I have to say that I probably know more about this than the White House or the Congress. Some of those in the Congress couldn't even point to the place of Turkey on the map. And this is the guy who's writing laws. So that, be that as it may, in 1980s, for example, I was a staunch supporter of President Ronald Reagan, and I've voted Republican most of my life because I'm a businessman. But on this election, I kept my distance from Trump because of his radical speech, rhetoric. And he turned the country into a tweetocracy, not democracy, but tweetocracy. He totally took the diplomats and the State Department out of the loop, and he's running the entire country and the world from his kitchen in the White House. I mean, this is, I don't know how worse can this get. I really wish that United States turned this, the whole relationship issue to a foreign diplomat, a foreign department, and the diplomats who are so well trained and who have excellent careers.
Yes, and just briefly, do you believe that the Turkey-America relationship can be repaired, or is that looking unlikely at this stage?
Yes, they can be repaired easily, but it needs some political will on the part of President Trump. He can just as well fix it tomorrow if he wants to. He can take back those tweets and actually apologize to Turkey. Repeat,
yes.
Apologize to Turkey.
Okay.
Then it will be fixed.
Yes. We will have to leave it there, but Ergun Kirlikovali, a member of the board of Turkish Philanthropy Funds, thank you so much for your insights.
My pleasure.